Hi, my name is Parker Gregson. I'm with the USF Nursing Program, and this is a patient case study related to the nursing process in the emergency department. So, patient history, a day in the ER. This patient case study covers a male patient in his late 70s who came in for a scheduled appointment in this outpatient setting. He had previously been diagnosed with atrial fibrillation with sleep apnea and coronary artery disease. The doctor scheduled this appointment to complete an angioplasty to open up the occluded left anterior descending artery. A past medical history includes hypertension, AFib, coronary artery disease, and patient denies being a drinker or smoker. He eats a heart healthy diet and goes on daily walks with his partner for exercise. For family history, there's no actual history related to high blood pressure or any heart disease. So, primary diagnosis for this patient is atrial fibrillation. A secondary diagnosis is sleep apnea. I was able to take care of this patient through his whole stay, from admission to discharge. He had an angioplasty procedure done, and he needed to stay the night in the ED to make sure that he was stable before discharging. So the procedure itself, an angiogram and angioplasty, there is a catheter placed through the patient's right radial artery and is fed up to the heart. And then dye is shown in the angiogram. It is shot up in that catheter to show where the occlusion is in the heart, and that's shown on a screen. Um, there's then a balloon catheter placed into the affected area, and then it is opened up, and then the drug-eluting stent is placed, and the catheter is withdrawn back through the wrist. Nursing assessment. Assessments in the ER are definitely more focused. So when this patient came in, we listened to his heart and lungs, did a neuro check, checked capillary refill, but his oxygen sats were 100% at around 16 to 19 breaths per minute throughout his stay. He was on room air. He had an irregular beating of his heart with S1 and S2 sounds, and that irregular beating of the heart is associated with atrial fibrillation. He was alert and orientated by ×3. Cap refill was around 3 seconds, which indicated possible ischemic blood flow from the blockage of the left anterior descending artery. Labs were previously drawn on this patient. Every patient that comes into the ER is required to have a labs drawn, but his labs kind of showed the doctor that he did in fact have an occlusion in his heart, and this is why he was here today for the angiogram and angioplasty. For pre-procedure, the nurse had to run a bag of fluids, 1,000 mils, to ensure that the patient would be hydrated before and after the surgery to flush out the dye that was going to be used for the procedure to keep his kidneys clean. After the procedure, actually, there would be another bag of fluids run to kind of flush that dye out. The nurse also needed to obtain informed consent because the patient knew that there would be dye into his bloodstream, and there was also a risk for infection. The nurse reviewed and educated the patient on the procedure that was being done. Planning for the patient through a healthcare team, there was a surgeon to perform the procedure, a surgical tech, a surgical nurse, and then the ED nurse and I were there for him pre and post procedure. The surgery was done to unblock the LAD artery in the patient's heart to ensure blood flow to the heart and minimize the risk for a widowmaker heart attack. The surgery was done within an hour, and he was transferred back to his room in the ED, where he would remain overnight and become stable before discharge. After the procedure was done, the patient was placed on heparin in the ED to prevent stenosis in the newly placed stent. Some interventions, post-op interventions. The patient assessments were done every 15 minutes for the first hour, checking vitals, the puncture site, heart sounds, lung sounds, cap refill, and neuro checks. The patient had a pressurized system on his wrist where the puncture site was, and air was slowly withdrawn during those checks to ensure that the puncture site was closing correctly. After the first hour of assessments, the patient remained stable. The checks backed off to every 30 minutes with the same kind of assessments. And then after those 2 hours of stability, the checks backed off to hourly for his remainder of stay. Another big point on his post-op interventions was education. The patient was educated that he would be on a medication called Plavix and a baby aspirin that would need to be taken daily for at least a year to keep that drug-eluting stent that was just placed open. He was also educated not to lift anything heavier than 10 pounds, which is like a gallon of milk, for a week to keep that puncture site closed properly so it doesn't burst open. Um, he can continue taking his daily walks with his partner for exercise, and then he was also educated for the puncture site to lightly clean with soap and water and dab until dry, and then he would cover that up with a bandage with a bandage for a week. Some nursing diagnosis: risk for bleeding related to angioplasty, as evidenced by surgical puncture site on the patient's right wrist. Risk for infection related to opening or clotting at the puncture site, as evidenced by open puncture site that bled when pressure was released. Readiness for self-care related to stent placement, as evidence to patient teaching back to the nurse at discharge and understanding the medications and self-care that will need to be taken at home. So the evaluation, the patient evaluation, the patient remained stable and had baseline numbers the entire stay, and he was very well educated and showed readiness for self-care upon his discharge. And then personally, I felt like I was really able to kind of put the big picture together from everything from admission to assessments pre and post procedure, and I was able to do the discharge teaching with him. And I took care of him the whole time, his whole stay. I was there for him for the day he was admitted until his discharge. And so I got to be around him a lot, and it just kind of gave me a sense of reassurance that I was doing the right thing. Like I felt like I was supposed to be where I was supposed to be, and I'm choosing the correct career path. So yeah, that is my patient case study.